Hey guys, welcome to the very first House of Crypto live stream. In this video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, which is pumping pretty hard right now, and soon going to be potentially bringing the rest of the markets up, which is very exciting. So we're going to go through and rank your favorite cryptocurrencies, about how far they can potentially go in the future. We're going to look at some price predictions, different narratives and things like that. And as well, if we've got some time, we'll jump into some questions as well. So first of all, guys, hit that like button. Do me a favor. If you haven't already, then subscribe. And let's get on with it, shall we? So first things first, let's have a look at where we are in the market. And obviously be a bit patient with me, guys. Obviously not used this kind of software before, so getting used to the tools. Firstly, we want to take a look at what's going on across Twitter. Okay, before we jump in and like do some of this stuff, and there will be a lot of this kind of to do. So, you know, be patient, we'll get there. I want to look at the kind of the bigger scene, the bigger picture. It feels like Bitcoin and crypto has been doing nothing, okay? And that's because we had a really hot and exciting Christmas period, and then now it's kind of been a bit boring, okay? It's the same, you know, we're all kind of in this and not much has been going on, but we have to remember where we are. Previously, and this is from El Crypto Prof, other information's available, but he's been pretty spot on quite often, is basically using various indicators, kind of sort of shows that we could well be in a position sort of into or approaching into a bull market. Now, I actually feel that we could well be due to see a good push towards the upside. And looking at previous results here, I can see that we have kind of like pumped and then sort of dumped. I do think that a dump is kind of less likely, and I'll show you on a Bitcoin chart why that is right now. But I do think that we are due to see a pump before a significant pullback. Why might that be? On the sort of shorter time frames, smaller time frames, shall we say, it's been fairly obvious we've been coiling up in this since when? Since the 26th of January, okay? And now we see that kind of coil up, kind of had a bit of a push, and now, you know, right now it seems like we're squeezing out, although not with a huge amount of excitement, clearly not that much volume in the market. Now, typically, if we were expecting to kind of drop lower here, I would have expected to see it happen straight after this big spike here. Okay, straight basically down, maybe a retest, and then sort of a good lower, putting in lower highs. Okay, but notice we've now got a a higher low coming in up here, and if we're able to break beyond these highs, I think we're going to be retesting this zone up here. Do we break it? I don't know. Potentially, we could just go sideways for a bit longer. We could go down. But, you know, we've got to understand that right now, the trend is our friend, okay? Don't want to use that cliche, but the trend is our friend. Something else that's really key to pay attention to is this. And this is using an RSI, Relative Strength Index. Typically, you would expect to see a lot of coins right now, which have been bumping pretty hard, kind of higher on this mark, okay? Higher up here, which is usually an indicator that we're going to see maybe a bit of a cool off in some of those coins. Some of them we can see up here have been performing a bit better more recently. You've got Chainlink, Sui, and who else? Is that behind my picture? No, we're in the right place. And, you know, Pith, Manta, a few of the ones that, you know, people have been focusing on more recently. But then we look down below and you can see a lot of it's kind of floating around the middle ground. A lot of it's floating into this green, which means that we shouldn't be surprised if suddenly we see the market start to take off. Remember, if Bitcoin stabilizes and starts to go sideways, it's prime altcoin season, and we need to kind of be ready, prepared if we're not already. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a number of different coins and talk about kind of the way I see them going through and a lot of things I see in crypto right now, because I'm going to be honest, guys, a lot of the stuff you're seeing across YouTube is absolute trash, okay? And I'll tell you why that is in a minute, but I'm seeing some horrible stuff, and I'm not going to pick out individuals. I'm not going to say that like I'm better than everyone else, but I'm going to manage something. I'm not better than everyone else, by the way. Some really good YouTube channels as well, and I'll tell you which ones I recommend slightly later on. Now, first things first, if you haven't already, guys, make sure you subscribe, because, you know, why else would I be doing live streams? No, I'm joking. Live streams exciting, never done it before. So yeah, every day making, you know, different videos on different coins, things like that, and analyzing the sentiment in the market, different tools that you can use, different upcoming like potential render killers. We've got a huge one here, which is Ether. And there's a pre-sale for that coming up next week in the private community, which I'll talk about later on if you want to get involved in that. Various things with AI coins and, you know, just the overall narratives and things we should be paying attention to. Okay, First things first, let's jump into this because everyone loves this, okay? Why do we keep seeing this on every YouTube video? Do you want me to tell you? It's easy, right? This gets views. I don't know why. I don't know what it is in our human psychology that wants this quantifiable thing. So everyone loves to use this in their YouTube videos. And you'll see a bit of a pattern here. When you see YouTube videos of just people knowing what works, okay, which means one thing. You tend to get a lot of repetition, and I try and avoid that to my best of my abilities. But, you know, if I have a video that does well, 10 or so people I see new thumbnails just emerging on the same content. Okay, it's fine. It's just how YouTube works. People like to copy, and it means that if you're going to learn about crypto, you shouldn't just be using YouTube, okay? Because it's just very narrow. Right now, the only coins everyone wants to talk about on YouTube in crypto is like ICP, Casper, XRP, although XRP army's kind of died off a bit as XRP's gone quiet. Anyone in the XRP army here? Okay, right. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? First things first, Bitcoin, guys. We're not going to go through all of these, okay, because there's a lot. Bitcoin's not going to do a 10x, okay? A lot of things I see across YouTube right now, people being like, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. I mean, at some point in the future, that might happen, okay? But ultimately, once you get more and more big money coming in, it's now, you know, 3 or 4% now owned by BlackRock, I believe. And you're going to see more and more of that Bitcoin being bought up by big money. It's just going to be used to manipulate markets from overbought to oversold. It's going to be used to make money from investors, the same as Forex markets, the same as anything else, which means it has to go up and down. They can't make money if it just goes straight up in the air, okay? Easy. Same for everything. So when anything's pumping in, you're like, this coin's different. It's never different, okay? It's going to be exactly the same. People are always going to take profits, okay? Easy money. Right. I'm going to touch first on Chainlink, because Chainlink's been pumping recently, and everyone loves a bit of Chainlink. So I talked about in a video I made yesterday, I believe, why I think Chainlink's pumping. If you missed that, you should have subscribed. But the reason, Chainlink's pumping, in my personal, humble opinion, is this. Chainlink is basically connecting real-world assets to the blockchain. It's going to be something that's incredibly useful. And if we think back to last year, we saw CEO, what's his name, Larry Fink of BlackRock, making so much easier to record videos than it is to do live streams. Stick with me. Chainlink basically connecting real world assets. He was saying that tokenization is going to happen across the chain, okay, across everything. So basically all different, like, gold, silver, all these different assets are basically going to be moved onto the blockchain, as in the data for them was all going to be moved onto the blockchain. And that's interesting because potentially if everything's looking to get tokenized, you're going to need the use of oracles to be able to connect that. It's very, very powerful stuff. And it's why I would say that pretty much everyone who I've spoken to, I'm talking like the likes of Virtual Bacon, Kyle Schass, lots of other big YouTubers in the game, No BS Crypto, Ran Nuna, and the Crypto Banter guys, all will be their top kind of handful of coins, okay, top 4 or 5s. So Chainlink for me is one that I'm also holding right now. Why do I hold it right now? Because I don't anticipate seeing a huge upside. Is this. Bear with me because I've got too many coins here. I don't know where everything is. Well, right now it's $18. Earlier on in the last year on this channel, we were talking about this down in a buy zone, which was this basically Wyckoff accumulation. Okay, Wyckoff accumulation. We can see it dipped out the bottom of the Wyckoff. Perfect opportunity down here around $4. Okay, and at $4, everyone was snapping it up. Problem is now it's actually recovered pretty hard and aggressively compared with a lot of the market, which makes it seem a bit off-putting. But it means it's moving first, it's moving early. Look at it compared with like Bitcoin. This means that these kind of earlier coins, we've identified them. Okay, it's annoying. That's Bitcoin there. We've got Chainlink on the bottom. And they're basically, kind of recovering back towards their previous all-time highs. And that's good because it means to us that we're probably going to be able to get in on some earlier gains, earlier moves in the market. Okay, they might not be the biggest gains ever, but I was talking to my barber yesterday and saying that, you should be focusing really on right now trying to get yourself 4 or 5x before August. Does that sound doable? Because everyone's like, oh, let's go and get 100x. 4 or 5x before August is like this. You got 5 grand, let's say, 500 bucks, whatever it is, 5 grand, and I want to make 100 grand. It's only a 20x, but it's still tricky to pick your 20x. If I'm just trying to make a 4x on that by August, then I'm at 20 grand by August. And then I've got a full bull market to do a 5x on that 20 grand. Okay, so focus on the kind of the less risky ones to build your bags first. What everyone does at the early stage, annoyingly, stupidly, is try to like make massive money straight off. Just put it in the, the slow burners at the start, because it might feel slow, but actually, you get in Chainlinks, they do like a 3 or 4x and you're happy, right? So Chainlink on this, I'm not going to lie, it's not going to go down. They're going to go there. Sorry, they're going to go in here. Akash, guys, now, if you're subscribed, DePIN, I'm not like getting all like confirmation biasy, like, the DePIN army, because that's lame, okay? Hopefully I'm cooler than that. At least I used to be. But basically, what we want to do is understand this as a narrative and why this is such a key narrative, okay? DePIN is so big because of this. This is Yahoo Finance, okay? Talking about NVIDIA stocks. If you don't know what NVIDIA is, it's the world's largest producer of GPUs, computer GPU chips, okay? These GPUs are used to power things like AI, large language learning models, or large language models like ChatGPT and all these other new bits and pieces coming in. Also used to power like big complex games with loads of like AI agents and things running around, okay? All of this stuff needs GPUs, but there's a demand that's growing at around 10x every 18 months, and the supply is only 2xing every 18 months. What does that mean? It means that the supply can't keep up with... Hold on. Supply can't keep up with the demand. Okay, supply-demand models. Happy days, right? So, if we know that supply-demand models are in place, and this is basically going to be driving DePIN, which is decentralized physical infrastructure networks. It's basically what's required to power all of these kind of big games, all of these huge metaverse projects, which could potentially be blowing up soon if that Apple headset and the concept of headsets and metaverse stuff starts to pick up. Then, it's all going to look a bit exciting. Okay, that's what we're really betting on. Most of crypto outside of that, don't really need right now, to be honest. We might, it might be like a nice thing to have, but you don't need it. It's not like a crazy demand, okay? It's the same as like the electric car. Now, obviously, I care about the environment, and I'm not going to get into an argument about this. But the electric car, the technology that could have made that was, happy coming around in the early 90s. No one really gave a shit about the electric car. Yeah, maybe you could say that the big oil companies stopped that. Well, okay, I tell you what, all those people being like, oh, well, yeah, but ICP is the future. Well, what about all the big companies like Amazon and Google and everyone else who lose out massively, like 3 or 4 of the world's biggest companies will lose out massively if that transition takes place? So wouldn't it make sense that maybe pressure will come from people to stop other people? Okay, it's not a little rant over there. Anyway, what I'm getting at, go down rabbit holes, my apologies, is that this is kind of fueling a catalyst, the decentralized compute networks. So people are having to go away to source GPU power from elsewhere, okay? How do they do it? They go to things like a cache network, okay? Like this one. How do I block people? You need to be blocked. People being rude in the chats, are they? Okay, that's right. I haven't got an assistant who can read the chat as well. So do your best, do your worst, whatever. I don't care. Where are we? NVIDIA. So what we're going to say is basically a cache network, guys. It provides decentralized compute networking power. Now, what does that mean? If you have like a huge demand right now for like rendering services for like video games, or maybe a huge demand for like metaverse or whatever, and you don't have the ability to buy the GPUs, you will start to outsource a lot of that work to other places. Why? Because those GPUs, particularly those NVIDIA ones, are really, really expensive, like thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? Tens of thousands of dollars, in fact. So you'll outsource it, like rent out to other people. And there is like off-chain solutions for this at the moment through Amazon, through a bunch of others, but it's actually pretty expensive. Okay, so lots of people are now looking to outsource this kind of stuff to various DePIN networks, and a lot of these DePIN networks do sound very exciting, But I would also urge an air of caution on this. A lot of the DePIN networks that we know and have kind of like fallen in love with, we've kind of fallen in love with them because we've suddenly realized the power behind DePIN, which is why like Render Network, Akash, and a few others are like catching our eye right now. And we're like, wow, but there is something crazy, crazy new launch products coming up in this space. One of which I've got here, which is Ether. And there's another couple, GPU.net, IO.net. GPU.net, I'm actually in talks with the CEO of that company. So we're going to see if I can get us a pre-sale in the inner circle. So I'll talk about how you can join that later. As well, guys, make sure if you are subscribed, then I'll talk about how you can do that later on. Right. So Akash Network. Akash, let's have a look at where Akash is. Now, guys, I'm going to be honest. We're not going to have to get through all of these with such detail. I'm going to have to obviously race for a few because, you know, we haven't got all day, all night, whatever time it is, where you are. Akash Network's been pumping recently, okay? And I know like a lot of people get put off when projects have been pumping a bit recently, and quite rightly, okay? It was me as well as others who've been telling you to avoid, you know, buying in onto these big pumps. But Akash Network's relatively sort of new, okay? We have had a bit of kind of sideways momentum. I am yet to see, you know, it would be nice to have got in around this kind of level down here, around 2.3. But, you know, you can't really go far wrong. And, you know, this is with a very big air of caution with DCAing into particular projects that you personally see fit. Now, this is high, okay? There's a good chance it comes down. So, you know, you DCA in if you want. But, you know, there's always another coin. If you missed a coin, you know, then don't DCA in. I'm not telling you to DCA in. I'm not telling you to get into Akash. There's a number of other coins that I think are probably better options. I would anticipate a pullback on Akash, to be honest, but it might not happen. Where would that pullback come to? You'd have to imagine that from that big kind of pump there, we've got a nice kind of area through there that looks kind of healthy. Now, a lot of people in the past, I made a video on Casper, and I still get a little like comments now and then being like, oh, you told me to sell because you said it was going to go down. I'm not telling you to sell Akash, okay? I'm saying that it looks kind of expensive right now. And if you weren't into it already, then, you know, maybe wait, be patient. Because that looks to me like a bit of a, you know, shoulder and a head and another shoulder and a neckline. And that would, to me, tell me that we're going to probably do maybe that. That's our first buy zone. You know, put my 50% in there, 50% in there, okay? This is for people who haven't got in yet. If you're already holding it, then it's probably not a bad coin. Hopefully you've been taking profits. If you got in down there, you know the deal, okay? Akash, where's it going to go? Well, quickly, let's look at coin market cap. Have a look at this. Guys, I want you to be cautious as well. See someone in the chat just writing Akash, 1000x. I know you like, you know, you love these things and it's exciting. 1000x, no chance, okay? Look, it's what, 627 million. It's not be worth more than like Bitcoin, right? No chance, okay? It might be worth, I mean, the whole of DePIN right now is worth like $20 billion, okay? At the end of 2023, according to the Masari report, the whole of DePIN was worth $20 billion, which is, you know, just past the 20x, 25x on this. Circulating supply is not bad. Akash, 15, 20x. You know, from where we are right now, I would be surprised if it got beyond a 20x. Not a bad one, though. But that's good, okay? I want to remind you, 20x is really, really good. But unfortunately, so many, like, low-level people, low-level, like, creators, let's say, who can't, like, think how to make content more interesting or whatever, will just kind of trick you with these thumbnails saying, like, 1000x this and 20,000x this, trying to make you believe that their video is actually going to be interesting, but they're just trapping you with this confirmation bias. They'll then go and tell you that this coin's going to do X, you know, 500x when it hits this exchange, just to make you keep wanting to be in their, like, communities and stuff like that, okay? No, okay? If you get 50x plus, you've absolutely killed it, okay? Stop being dragged in with this fake news stuff because it's going to ruin you. 20x is crazy, yeah. Flavio's explaining. 20x is absolutely ludicrous, okay? 20x, if I said right now, I don't, you know, depending on how much money you've got in the bank, guys, if you, you know, with your investment, you said to yourself, I can make 20x in the next year. No entrepreneur in the world expects to make 20x in the next year, okay? Apart from the ones in crypto. Might happen, but outside of crypto, never ever happens. Nothing's for free, okay? Harder you work. Anyway, I've been through 2 cycles already. Give me a 6x and I'm done. Exactly. You are bang on the money, mate, because that's how to win, okay? Stop trying to go too big. You're just going to end up on the rocks anyway. Filecoin, guys, Filecoin again, absolute beast, because, and why I'm so much more bullish on Filecoin than Akash is simply because Filecoin, again, within the kind of DePIN environment, DePIN storage, but look at the current situation of the price. How do I do that? Current situation of the price is what, $5.14 in the past. It was all the way up here, like $280. Okay, so it's all the way up, another 48x from here. Now I would assume that maybe we've seen a lot in terms of inflation, but Filecoin, guys, also with its integration of AI. If you want to know about the kind of inflation and things, it's worth doing this, guys. Go to all. This is on CoinMarketCap, and click on market cap, because you'll see that the market cap was really, really big for Filecoin. It went up to about 12.3 billion. Currently it's sat up at like 2 billion. Okay, so in terms of price, it looks like a 45x, but actually it's a 6x. Okay, the coin price might have changed, but it's a 6x on market cap. But now we've got like full volume, full circulating supply, all good. Okay, so I think Filecoin looks really good still, healthy. Has been kind of rejected at this level. I was more bullish on it. Sorry, I was less bullish on it. I thought that we were going to break this red line and go harder. We came back. Now I'm even more bullish on it. Okay, Filecoin looks really good. How big are we go on Filecoin? I think it's ambitious. What was that market cap at? 2.5 billion. Can it 10x would take you to 25 billion. I think a 20x is ambitious, but let's go for 20x. Still think it's an earlier mover as well. Still think the big narratives are going to go earlier. I think the proper degen, like GameFi stuff, you know, I've seen Alex Becker talking about it a lot. With the exception of the 1 or 2 projects that he talks about, I think GameFi as a whole will eventually boom, but I don't think it's going to happen for probably, you know, a good portion of time until we get into that kind of big market kind of hysteria excitement. We're definitely not there right now. Where can we find how much YouTubers get paid to shill shit coins? Do you want me to tell you? You can find, depending on the channel, you can go and find specific chats. I know that BitBoy used to take about 50 grand a video. His channel was around 1 point something million. And now he's not that big. I would imagine that like Altcoin Daily is probably up towards 20, 30 grand. Channel of my size, probably about 3 grand. But it's not even worth it at like that price. So, yes, there you go. Where is Casper? Casper's there. Did I not add it? Okay, Casper should be there. Bear with me. I haven't been singling out Casper. Right, let's go to Ether, guys. Ether, new project. I talked about this the other day, and we have a pre-sale in the inner circle, which is very exciting. This is a brand new project. It hasn't launched. And I believe, and we don't know this for sure, it's going to be launching at around a market cap of like, let's say, $400, $300 million maybe. It's a big one. Now, this is what happens with these kind of big AI projects and compute stuff. A lot of you are looking at them being like, oh, they've got big market caps. And they're, you know, this is right. You're not necessarily going to see astronomical gains. But why have they got such big market caps and they're brand new? Well, because the tech that they are involved in is extremely high level. They're extremely expensive to set up, so they have to get big funding. Yeah, it's not like a meme coin that costs like 50p to get started. Probably costs a bit more if it's on Ethereum, but, you know, not a lot. These are expensive, okay? So you have like huge amounts of investment into GPUs, huge amounts of stuff like that, yeah? So it's expensive. Interesting alpha on shill fees. Yeah, coming back to those shill fees, personally, you know, I will do like sponsorship segments and things like that, and actually affiliate deals are way better for me and my community, I think, because, you know, I think things like NordVPNs, I do make small commissions on, and I'll tell you about NordVPNs later on, and exchanges, things we must use in crypto and things that I think are the best and the ones I use. Okay, I'm trying to do a deal at the moment because we did have a deal with this one, which is Decent, and I really like this wallet. Don't get me wrong, but it's really expensive. Okay, they're like $150 each, and I think that's too much for the average crypto trader out there. So we're trying to do a better deal with, what's the big one? Ledger or any others. If you could suggest some, guys, maybe we can go away and see what we can do, okay? Because we have big community, we can kind of make leverage on it, which is also useful. But going back to that shilling of projects, guys, it's not actually the worst thing in the world, okay? I've talked about this before. People will shill projects, and I think people do give it a bad name. But as long as you can kind of work out, if you're still early when they're shilling it, it's not necessarily the bad thing, okay? If Altcoin Daily shouts out a particular project and you happen to be one of the first 10 people to watch that video, and another, like in the bull market, 400, 500,000 people are about to watch that video, it's not a bad thing that he's shouting it out. And if you're holding it, you're pretty damn happy he's shouting it out, okay? So just crypto, okay? Every single coin you can think of will be getting shilled at some point on some platform, okay? Trezor Tangam. Please invite Tyler S. and Jordan Cameron on your show. Jordan, I think I do know. I know Tyler S. Jordan, not sure. Well, I think we're having Virtual Bacon at some point, and No BS Crypto. Big fan of their content. Something a bit more different, a bit varied. Okay. Right, where are we going? Sorry, do you trade on leverage? Yes. I'm stop answering questions. Otherwise, we'll never get through this, lads. Right, Ether. Yeah, sorry. Decentralized compute storage, similar in a way to what Render does, and I talked about this on the video the other day. Okay, which was this video here. Where is it? Render Killer. Basically saying that a lot of this rendering demand for a lot of the GPU demand for AI, not just rendering stuff, but for AI, specifically large language models, you need a specific type of NVIDIA chip to be able to run this. It's called an H100, I believe. And that is something that Render doesn't have any, has no chips, okay? But Ether has partnership with NVIDIA and owns like 20,000 of these chips. Ether is already making a revenue bigger than the entire DePIN space was making at the end of 23. Okay, so that's why I'm excited by Ether. Still got a big launch price though. Now, if you wanted to get into a pre-sale on that, guys, then I have the, what's it called? Let's go here. Then you can go to the inner circle, which is linked down below, guys. Then you can get into pre-sales with our venture capital fund, basically where we give you the ability to act like a large whale, and you can go and invest. Minimum, I think, is about $500 typically, but you can go and invest into pre-ICO projects. Recently, we've had some absolute monsters, okay, such as like Ready Player Games, whatever it's called, which was a Binance Lab project. Binance Labs projects vary, but in all-time high average from the pre-seed rounds, which is what we're raising into, they average at like 186x. That's an average 186x. We have projects like this 2 or 3 times every single month. And if you want to invest in these, which no one else has ability to do, then you just need to go to that link down below. If you want to go to like, if you're using like Seedify or like DAOmaker or something, and you're having to stake like $2,000, it just pay $20 a month, okay? And you can do this. You don't have to stake anything. No brainer. Also, you have access to the trade zone. You can see some of these different trades that are going in all the time. I've been adding a few trades, but Dwadonis, DW Adonis, is absolutely killing it with some of the trades he's been doing more recently, and there's a few other guys adding trades. So if you want free trading signals, well, not free, it's part of $20, but trading signals every day, then get into here. Loads of other chats and bits and pieces. Okay, I'm going to stop shilling you my zone stuff. Yeah, chats and things and stuff going on there. Inner circle, link down below. Next one, where am I? Yeah, so Ether, guys. Pumped for Ether. I think it's going to be a very exciting project. We will also try and get the CEO of Ether onto a live stream soon. So yeah, pay attention to that one. Again, I think 20x would be phenomenal for Ether. You know, it's already going to be launching with a $400-500 billion market cap. $1 million market cap. Although in the Discord, we're going to get a discount on that. I believe somewhere around 30 or 40% discount on the pre-sale price. So when it launches, you're going to be already potentially up 30 or 40%. I know as well, they've got like a year of like full vesting on their investors, okay? So that no one can sell it. You're not going to get VCs dumping. They can't do it, okay? Fully transparent team. All good. Solana. You know, obviously, Solana is one of my favorites, guys. We will look at Solana and ICP together because a lot of people are comparing Solana and ICP right now. And well, I will talk about ICP in a moment. But Solana, we had that outage yesterday. Everyone was like, oh, Solana's done for, blah, blah, blah. What happened yesterday to the Solana price? Nothing. In fact, it went up. So, yeah, this kind of bearish like news and everyone gets panicky and whatever, guys, you know, fair enough. It's not necessarily a good thing for the network, but this used to happen to Solana all the time. One thing you would say that is a very positive thing about Solana, and actually something that bigger money and investors are looking for, is to see something get battle tested. Okay, nothing is the finished product. Think about how many like iterations of new Macs and Windows computers and everything that had to be before you got like decent products. So actually, it's a good thing to see things getting battle tested. Yeah, it's not ideal that it's been going down, but that's why the price doesn't really get rattled much by it. In fact, Solana now looks like it's bouncing from this zone here. I would expect it to be retesting around $104 pretty soon, depending on what goes on with Bitcoin. And that could say that we are looking at, you know, some form of a, I won't draw it like that because we know what that looks like, some form of a head and shoulders. For fuck's sake. Grow up, guys. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Okay, and I would expect, you know, like see a break, maybe like that. Continuation, Solana, what? Previous highs. Again, people keep looking at Solana and anticipating where it's going to go in the future. Really difficult to say, but I think people need to be a little bit more conservative because it's already monstrous market cap. And also, just because it went to $270 last time, if we look at the market cap, again, it's been inflating. Chart, market cap, 1 year or all-time high. It's already nearly at its previous, no, it's not. It's a 3x to its all-time high market cap. I could see Solana kind of doing maybe a 2.4x on Solana on this all-time high previously, which was what, $270. So I think the price for Solana I see around $900, which would be about a 9x. Why? I mean, it's quite evident, you know, and people get really like emotionally attached to layer ones, which is kind of creepy. But to be honest, you know, right now, whether you like it or not, Solana is gaining a huge amount of traction. You've just seen one of the biggest dexes, Jupiter, which we've got on here as well, suddenly gain more volume on a day trading than Uniswap on Ethereum. That's absolutely ludicrous, okay? So it means Solana is now getting more volume on a daily basis at some points than Ethereum. You're seeing a load of new DePIN networks going over to Solana. You've got Render going across there. Yeah, it's all looking pretty positive. Render, again, guys, 20x, something like that. I think it's reasonable. ICP, now ICP is the talk of the town, and I don't really understand what it is behind like certain cryptos that get everyone really excited about them, okay? I talked about ICP last year multiple times when ICP was much cheaper than it is now, where literally everyone was just calling me a scammer and said that it was bullshit and it wasn't going anywhere because, you know, what happened in the last bull market. And suddenly it's managed to do a complete 180, and now everybody loves ICP. When that happens, I'm not saying to like run away, but be cautious. If everyone already loves it and everyone's already talking about it, who's left to come in and add money to that pot? No one, right? Which means you then have to wait a while before more money kind of arrives into the market. And this is what happened to Casper. And actually, Casper's breaking right now. It's interesting. We'll talk about this one later on. That's what happened to Casper here. And look, back on the 19th of November. And then since the 19th of November, it's now like the 7th of February. It's been doing nothing for like a good 3 months. Just, you know, if you were in down here, happy days. But it's been kind of consolidating sideways and slowing slightly. So don't waste, you know, if you're in Casper and you think it's good for the long haul, excellent. Maybe take profits sometimes along the way up. The rest of the time, just leave it alone. Stop focusing all your time on watching the same bullshit videos every day, telling you it's going to 100x. Probably not, okay? ICP, internet computer. Now, internet computer, everyone's like, why is no one talking about this? It's the biggest DePIN project on coin market cap. It does have like potential to be able to build DePIN on it, but right now it's not happening. So it's all hype and all potential. And I am excited about the prospect of what ICP is offering. But I think it's just so incredibly, how do I put it? If they can pull it off, it's going to be incredible. but it's not going to happen, in my opinion, in this bull market. And I've been wrong, guys. I could be wrong. Okay, but a load of people, every time I talk about anything, I just people diving in, being like, ICP is amazing. Guys, ICP is amazing. I was telling people to buy it all the way down here. Made multiple videos through this kind of bear market, and then suddenly it's kind of shot up, and it's still going to absolutely kill it from here. What, $12? It's like $5.6 billion. You know, I think, is it possible that it goes to $100, $120 to $150? I think it's reasonable. 10 to 20x. 10 to 20x. Okay, let's move a bit quicker. Verasity. Verasity has been kind of lagging a bit, okay, but it's just because its narrative isn't kind of getting too exciting yet. Personally, I think that it's going to see some more excitement. It's in the right kind of space. Chart looks pretty decent. You know, it's finding support down here. So I would anticipate that maybe Verasity has, again, a potential for a sort of a... You'll notice that ambitious. I know you're probably watching videos of people all the time telling you like, oh, this is going to 100x. This is going to 500x. They're lying, okay? They might not be, but they are not lying about 99% of them, okay? And again, 20%, 20x is crazy. 10x is crazy. 10x on Bitcoin is, well, not going to happen, I don't think, this bull market. But 10x on Solana and Chainlink, more reasonable, you know. And the difference is, but the 10x is going to happen. But the 100x on some of the others, less likely. Now the next one, guys. I'll bang this one in here. Kazuna. I don't like meme coins, okay? And I haven't talked much about meme coins. I did talk a little bit about this one back in when? Back in the autumn. Why did I talk about it? Because Kazuna is basically a meme coin that's sort of a decentralized meme coin that's basically being created using an AI model. It was created using Potenza. Okay, so a large language model actually wrote the code that created the token. And I think that's kind of cool. I love the kind of like the artwork and the stuff behind it. Looking as well at the Twitter, and why I've suddenly like come across this again is actually I've started to notice people talking to me about Kazuna. So no one, also, yeah, make sure you give me a follow over on Twitter, guys, because we have daily like daily updates on what's going on. And actually, you would have caught Kazuna. We posted this back all the way in, when was it? In like November time. And people made like 2-3x in a couple of days. Right now, it's at 7,200 followers. When we covered it last time, I think it was about 3,000. In terms of the followers, we can see actually some bigger names coming in now. Okay, Brian Jung's got like 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Great channel, actually. Phil Bonello, I seem to be following him, but I can't remember who he is. And who's this? Poop Man. Yeah, some slightly bigger followers, okay? With meme coins, with small market caps, Kazuna's like 13 mil market cap. I don't think it's beyond hope. And I'm not saying to go and put tons of money in, guys, okay? It's risky. It's a meme coin, after all. But it's worth a punt, okay? I love the website. Go and check it out. Nice artwork. Fee burning, lots of other bits and pieces you can go and learn about here, okay? And actually like a pretty passionate and excited community who actually, I think, could push this forward. So yeah, take a look. This is on Uniswap, I believe. When it comes to, yeah, I'll give you a little plug, guys. When it comes to trading coins, I am at the moment using MEXC 100% of the time. And yeah, this is a sponsored link down below. But guys, 0%. If you're new and you're using like Coinbase, it's ridiculous, okay? I used Coinbase for like maybe the first month I was in crypto a few years ago, okay? And it costs you like 10% to make a trade. It costs you 10% to change your USD into Bitcoin, let's say, and then it will cost you 10% at the end to send your Bitcoin into USDT. It means you've got to make a minimum of 20% before you can even break even. Ridiculous, okay? 0%. Ludicrous, okay? Cheapest out there. 4,500 coins. I've been talking to various other influencers and people today who've basically been talking about, you know, what complete BS, like all that kind of FUD behind MEXC was, okay? It's just MEXC and other exchanges will try to battle each other and take bites at each other to sort of scare them away. Okay, it's based in Singapore. I'm actually going to Singapore soon, and I'm going to try and go and visit them so I can give everyone some more information on that. If you want as well, guys, and you are in the US and you can't access MEXC, which has 4,000 altcoins, 4,500, pretty much every coin that's not on most other exchanges is on there, then you can use my NordVPN link, okay? If you're in the US, you just change your location to like the UK or somewhere else, and you can transfer cash in there. If you try and like deposit money, you're going to have to KYC. But if you transfer cash in there, you don't have to KYC. You can just use this NordVPN, which is like 4 months free, $2.50, okay? $2.50, and then you can go and interact with it. £2.39, so it's like $2.50, $2.60. Big discount. Okay, let's jump back. Seedify Launchpad. Big fan of Launchpads in that they are doing well. I'm a big fan of Launchpads in general. I mean, people don't like them because they're expensive. But guys, people invest in them still, right? And if people are investing in them and they're expensive, the reason they go into spike price like this. Seedify's had a killer year already. The projects on Seedify as well have been performing really strongly, which we checked out on, is it Crypto Rank? Bear with me. All your videos are full of shit. You're the only channel I dislike. Oh, you're tough. All right, Jimmy. Tough guy. Right, IDOs, ICOs. What's the better channel, Jimmy? Give me a good one. IDOs, ICOs. Where are we? On here, guys, you can check out different launchpads. Sorry, central exchange launchpads, ROIs. These are some of the launchpads on the ROIs for like Binance, KuCoin, etc. These are phenomenal. IDO launchpads. Some of them have been doing really well. Now, ignore Bounce. I covered this the other day on a video, but unfortunately since then, the only project they seem to have done really well on was this, SAVM, and we all know what happened to that. But if you come down below, Seedify has been doing quite well in terms of some of the projects they've been launching. All-time high return on investment. Look, 700x. Now, I'm not telling you to invest in staking Seedify so that you can enter into these projects, but if Seedify's got big chunks of these coins, Sidus is another one, then they'll do pretty well when the markets get moving. Okay, so this is definitely worth paying attention to. Staking and holding Seedify tokens could be something that's potentially useful. Where's it going to go? I mean, I think to previous sort of highs that DAOmaker saw in the last bull market, DAOmaker being a bigger one, I think maybe ambitious, but a 30x is possible. DYDX as well, I'm kind of pretty bullish on as well. Let's rattle it in there. DToro, another project which I covered back at the end of last year and actually supported their pre-sale, just for full clarity or full disclosure, whatever. I am holding a bunch of DToro tokens, but why I'm bullish on DToro is that it's basically a decentralized exchange, a fully working decentralized exchange. It launched at around $15 a token. Sorry, 15 cents a token. Currently, it's sat around a 3x. At one point, it went up to like $1. Okay, it's very new. They don't even have venture capital funding, which is positive. So they got a fully working decentralized exchange with synthetics provided liquidity. That's all extremely positive. Okay, so maybe we can stick that, I would say, up towards the 50x, but I don't want to just be accused of shitting my own bags. But yeah, stick it in here, guys. Right, next one, Arweave. Arweave, I also like the look of, although, yeah, people are like, oh, got hacked yesterday. Again, guys, when it comes to these things, as the kind of like the retailers are the only ones who seem to get massively upset about this. Because, yeah, Arweave took a little dip. Have I got it on here? Arweave took a little dip yesterday because appeared to get hacked. Yet the next day, it has a little pump towards the upside. Whenever you see like really kind of like bad, shady press come out about a particular project, not shady press. Shady press is a different thing. If it turns out to be a scam or whatever, then yeah, don't go and dive into them. But if it's like power outage or something was compromised or whatever, ultimately the reaction, the price will be reacting to that very, very quickly, which means that then the price will tend to return to where it was before. Then we can dive in. We get a nice little opportunity earlier on. You can see that since yesterday, had a push. Okay, it's 4.5%. It's nothing crazy, but Arweave still looks good. I don't think it's as exciting an option as Filecoin because it lacks that kind of AI element. But in terms of the DePIN space, I'm pretty confident Arweave's going to do well. Has a smaller market cap by about half of what Filecoin's is. So yeah, decent. let's go back to this. Yeah. Okay. Tal Potenza, I'm a big fan, but it's got a huge market cap. Huge market cap, okay? But it's doing some crazy stuff. Jupiter, also big market cap, doing quite nice stuff on Solana. Celestia, also pretty excited by, but, you know, again, been pumping more recently. Ethereum is what I want to cover. I think a good like 8 to 9x is possible on Ethereum. Still hasn't really seen much excitement going on. Now, interesting. I want to talk quickly about layer 2s. I haven't uploaded all the layer 2s I wanted to here. Layer 2s are probably the narrative I see going with DePIN next. Probably the narrative I see moving next, layer 2s. So I would look to potentially look into the likes of Metis and Mantle, which I've covered on videos more recently, or before Christmas, I believe. Sorry, after Christmas. And these projects looking to gain a lot of that hype and attention. A lot of that kind of like Ethereum, as Ethereum starts to look like it's its time in the market, I think people are going to move in. They're going to start wanting to stake Ethereum, and that's where a lot of these layer 2s are offering big staking pools, Mantle being one, okay? Lots of exciting things as well. You can anticipate airdrops. There's a linear airdrop coming on soon, which I will be talking about or trying to talk about. Linear is the company that's behind MetaMask, and we'll also probably have a massive airdrop, and we'll talk about how we can get involved in that. So if you're subscribed, we'll be going over that soon. Now, been talking a lot, guys. Tough times. Right, have you got... Let's just go through a few of your questions then, because I'm aware we've been on this for 50 minutes and I want to wrap it up within the hour. We'll go through a few and see if there's any coins that I've kind of... Obviously, there's coins I've missed that we want to kind of talk about. Now, I know a lot of things as well going on right now. People are like, oh, what about XRP or HBAR? I mean, guys, it's hard to kind of stay focused and give my attention to coins, these ISO coins and things like that, that really aren't gaining much attention. I think you've got to, you know, I've told you in the past, just chopping and changing your bags is a bit of a risky thing, but that's because what most people are doing is they're buying coins that they don't, you know, really know much about, and then they see something else that's kind of pumping, and then they just chop into the new one, and they don't really think about what they're doing. But if you've been kind of like monitoring the space of crypto, it seemed like midway through last year, and I'll be honest, that the ISO 20022, whatever it's called, was a really promising and exciting narrative that was going to catalyze a huge growth in the crypto market for certain coins. Didn't happen. Didn't really do much. Okay, it potentially might further down the line for the likes of who's that? Like XRP, HBAR, the XLMs of this world. But right now, it's not doing much. Okay, that's why I'm far more hyped and excited about DePIN and stuff like that, because you've got to keep an eye on the narrative and keep an eye on like the degen stuff that's happening on Twitter. YouTube's not really going to give you the truth, okay? Twitter, X, is where like most of my information comes on that I'm sharing with you. A lot of this information on X is going to put you way ahead of the crowds of people on YouTube just watching, you know, repeat videos on their favorite coins. Dog with hat. I mean, I did take a little bit of a bite of whiff the other day, and then it's absolutely wrecked me. I don't trade meme coins, but then occasionally I get caught out. GameFi. Yeah, okay, GameFi. One project that I'm actually very interested in, that I've been hearing silent murmurs about, is gaming. And I actually bought an NFT today. Very overpriced NFT. This is my gaming NFT. Is it mine? No, hold on. This is my gaming NFT. Why did I buy this? Extremely overpriced NFT, because gaming hasn't got a token, I don't believe, yet. And when that token gets launched, from what I've heard, that, you know, if you're holding these Genesis coins, then you have a much better chance of securing like allocations on ICOs and things like that. I personally love it when projects launch like this, because if they're making it like difficult to get into, it does really well. If you're in like I'm assuming NFTs still run like this. I got heavily involved in NFTs in the last bull market, and I remember like sitting in Discords and chatting for hours so that you could maybe get onto the whitelist. And if you eventually get onto the whitelist, then these projects sell out because you have hundreds of thousands of people trying to get on whitelist, believing that if you're on whitelist, you're going to make money anyway. So everyone's pushing and pushing and pushing, and then eventually it launches and it just goes crazy. There was one like Hape Beast or something went to like 13 ETH. It's like $400. Okay, and that was because it launched like this. It's a very good way to launch this. Now, anyway, what's gaming? Gaming in the world of DePIN, something I like. I'll just give you a bit of a heads up on what it is, and I'll go into more depth on this tomorrow. Is basically for GameFi and gaming, which is heavily demand on those GPUs we talked about. A lot of the demand on those GPUs is because a lot of the GPUs are taken up by gaming computers. Okay, loads of people in the world gaming. It's one of the biggest industries, or fastest growing industries at least. A load of these big GPU chips are being used in smart gaming computers. So what gaming allows you to do, if you are a gamer, is to be able to share some of that GPU power back, obviously decentralized, which is good. Share that GPU power back into the system, which ultimately is better for you because you're going to make a passive income while you're playing your games and whatever. Also, you're going to share that GPU power back into the network. And it's, all based around kind of Web3 gaming, cloud computing. Okay, it's one of, I think, the only one I've seen that's kind of doing this kind of GameFi, DePIN kind of crossover in this way. And that I really like. It's not particularly huge. Again, I've reached out to them. I'm trying to talk to them on Twitter, seeing if we can get ourselves maybe allocation for pre-sales in the Discord. Who knows, okay? Obviously nothing guaranteed, but it all sounds pretty good, okay? And again, I'm going to as well try in my future kind of live streams and stuff to get, CEOs on, because the CEOs, guys, they'll give you information that no one else is going to talk about, okay? If you can get into the kind of AMAs and stuff on Twitter on projects you really like, that's a really handy thing as well because you can find out information ahead of time. It's very helpful. I've been working on linear airdrop forever. Hope it comes good. Yeah, I mean, linear is an interesting one. I'm sure lots of people have been kind of driving for it. Whew. I'm talking too much. Made myself tired. You copied and printed your NFT. Will look nice in a frame. Yeah, but Ken, are you alright, Ken? You seem to be having a hard day, mate. The point of the NFT isn't that it looks pretty. The point of the NFT is that it has the ability to do something else. This is a proper schoolboy dumb comment, Ken. The point of the NFT is that I get allocation into a pre-launch. And also, if everyone else is trying to go and buy NFTs and this project does well in the future, speculation from people I've been talking to that this could maybe go up to like being worth 60k. We saw it in the last bull market. NFTs, if the market starts to get going, a lot of money will flood from crypto into NFTs. It's the biggest degen play. Okay, it happens every time. And this is a Solana NFT. So yeah, cheers, Ken. Thanks for coming. Give me another one. Gaming, doing the same as Nosana. Yeah, Nosana's also annoyingly, I found out about Nosana too late, and they've all got a good deal going on with Render. I will kind of I'm going to look in more depth to it, and I will cover it in tomorrow's video, and I'll probably bring in Nosana as a comparison. So thanks, Almi, who just brought us that. Beam, Nosana, yep. AOIZ, DePIN, storage, streaming. Wow. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? That like nothing was being said about DePIN, and then all of a sudden it's kind of come in. I mean, to be honest, I found out a lot more information about DePIN through various people on Twitter, and then I started to bring it on YouTube, and then now, like, I think about 4 or 5 days ago, Crypto, what's his name? It's the big channel. Crypto guy, what's he, the biggest? Coin Bureau made a channel video on it, right? And then now it's absolutely blowing up. Everyone's talking about it. So absolutely crazy. So yeah, I think DePIN, guys, much like in the last bull market where we saw like GameFi being the key narrative, everything GameFi was going on. I think people are now suddenly realizing that DePIN is a very exciting area. So if I was you, and yeah, AGI guys, I talked about AGI a while back. I'll talk about that in a minute. I keep telling you this, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Try and narrow down your focus. If you really like GameFi stuff, go and look at GameFi projects. Yeah, really get into the nuts and bolts of GameFi. If you really like DeFi, get into DeFi. If you really like, what else is there? Privacy networks, whatever else is, guys, get into that, right? And you'll absolutely clean up. Because you're going to outcompete everyone else. It's too much noise in crypto. That's the problem. Too much shit going on, and people can't concentrate. Question for Ether: can we buy or no? You can't. The public sale is going to be, I believe, towards the end of this month into March. Even like the pre-sale for us is going to be somewhere in, I believe, next week or the week after. What happened to Phantom CRS? Okay, let's have a quick look if we got any more that I want to put on here. I mean, yeah, another like ISO coin people were very excited about was Quant. Quant, again, still pretty undervalued, not really doing much. Could be wrong. Maybe all these ISO coins suddenly pop up. Maybe ISO is a thing that you want to dedicate your time to. I know No BS Crypto does a lot of coverage on ISO stuff. It's going to give him a follow. Let's just do one last one. Would you prefer... Let's have a look at GFoul. I'll look at GFoul and talk about a couple of the memes. People keep talking about Jasmy. I talked about Jasmy at the start of the year. To be honest, Jasmy at the start of the year, I wasn't really that well read into crypto as well as I am now. I mean, it's doing all right. Jasmy, like, decentralized. Remind me, what does Jasmy do? Internet of Things stuff. Was it storage? Jasmy also DePIN stuff, right? It's a Japanese project. But I mean, a lot of people were like, umming and ahhing. What I didn't like about Jasmy that eventually got me not keen was this kind of weird like stuff to do with the team. A lack of like transparency. Yeah, they put their faces on things, but there was never much in terms of people sharing, doing AMAs and bits and pieces. It might have changed. I kind of lost interest in it when also this kind of captured the attention of everyone on YouTube, and for some reason it was really hyped up and exciting, and people were talking about it everywhere. There's a couple of channels that, you know, will just talk about the kind of the, and don't get me wrong, I did this in the last bull market with Ethereum. It's how you kind of grow newer channels. Just focus on the kind of the hype and attention. But fortunately, I now have found other things to be talking about. You still see that? Right, Jasmy. Jasmy currently needs to maybe take a bounce. 76. It's still doing all right. People have been talking about it through the year. If it breaks this area up here, then maybe we could see a bit of a push higher. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, another ambitious like 20x or so from Jasmy. I mean, I also, to be honest, can't really remember significantly well what Jasmy does. I do remember this sort of diagram on the Jasmy website. Let me just remind myself, rather than be ignorant. What's it called? Jasmy Global. That was the thing. So they had two websites. They got one in Japanese and one in English, which is fair enough. But the one in Japanese was completely different from the one in English, which was so weird. Like, completely unrelated. And then a lot of people, Japanese people, were saying that, yeah, this company wasn't registered under the name that it said it was. And yeah, you know, maybe it's true or not, but I don't have time to waste on deciding whether or not I want to be investing in coins that might be a scam. Just leave them alone, okay, as far as I'm concerned. Decentralized data, that's what it was. Okay, so basically data, one of the biggest industries right now, loads of people storing your data all the time. Jasmy was basically offering you the right to sell your data so that you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but if you are sharing it, then you're going to get rewards in return. So you share your data, you get paid in Jasmy tokens, etc. Jasmy tokens are then used to run the networks and various other bits and pieces. Yeah, I kind of like the idea. It's potentially valuable if they can get it going. If this kind of like transparency thing cleans up, I don't know why they can't just have matching websites, one or the other. You know, feel free to let me know down below what I'm doing wrong. Okay, guys, that I think will probably be the end of it because we've made it through our first ever live stream. It's taken an hour. I would love your feedback down below. Do you prefer live streams? You know, let me know what I can do better. Be polite, be mean, whatever you want to do. Would love to have your feedback, guys. If you haven't already, please smash that like button for me. It really helps me out. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. As well, guys, have here the free, that's my editor's chat, the free, what's it called? House of Crypto chat, okay? So if you want to join the free House of Crypto chat, then jump into that, guys, okay? Lots of different bits and pieces being shared in here all the time. And if you've got more things you want to find out about various different projects, then you can ask in here, okay? It's a variety of people, lots of new people, but then there's also a lot more experienced people in here all the time. And it's just a great place to kind of like share your kind of crypto experiences with other people around the world. You can find out more information about the other products and things like that in here. You can see what do you guys think about Node AI, Ticker GPU, lots of people sharing information about the projects and things they're buying. Yeah, I probably already said that, but you know, it's live, I'm not used to it. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Subscribe, like the button, hit the like button for me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully to learn a little bit more about gaming and see what that's about, because it looks interesting to me. Okay, cheers, guys. See you later. Bye-bye. Let's figure out how to turn this off. Finish.